Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Analyst Desk. It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports
Uh,
analyst, as now you can see. And I'm joined by Mr. More for your money.
Whew!
So we're here live to talk about a game in the CFL between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Ottawa Redblacks. And Dan, you got to admit, these are two teams that are going in completely different directions.
Oh, 100%. It's as opposite as night and day, like one team for playoff hopes are pretty much done, and the other team, they are gearing right up for the Grey Cup victory.
Well, exactly, right? Like you have the Saskatchewan Roughriders who, they're getting pretty close to clinching their division very soon. And, if they can clinch that division, then get Trevor Harris that rest, which I think is something he needs at his age. Well,
Oh, for
Ottawa,
sure.
you lose tonight, you're mathematically eliminated. Now, as much as we say mathematically, Dan, what do you think? Like, you say Toronto's done. So if you're going to say Toronto's at less than 5%, what's Ottawa to make the playoffs?
0.1.
Well, that's not very nice.
Well, I'm just being generous. I mean, I gave them something as mathematically we still have a chance, but it's that bad.
So I don't know. I still think that Ottawa, like, it's tough, right? Like, Ottawa, though, is not in the same situation, I feel, as what Edmonton and Toronto have been, and where I think they've both played some decent football. Ottawa's had their moments this year, but overall, I would say this has been a huge disappointing season for the Ottawa Red Blacks.
I'm shocked. I thought going into free agency, Ottawa was going to be one of the best teams in the league. They had Lewis, who is arguably the best 50-50 wide receiver besides the Kenny Lawler. I thought that was going to be the difference maker, but I guess not.
And if you see here, we're having in the comment section, Key is calling for an upset.
Yeah, I think so.
So you think Ottawa's winning today too, Dan?
Ottawa? No. I mean, Saskatchewan's going to win.
That's not an upset if Saskatchewan wins.
No, but the upset was a bit of a blowout.
No. Everyone is expecting the 10-4 Rough Riders to smoke the 4-10 Red Blacks.
I think Rough Riders are going to win, no question asked.
Look, I could see Saskatchewan coming in a little half asleep.
Ooh.
But I still think Ottawa's not going to win this game personally, but I do think it could be closer. And we have Connor in the comments saying, I don't think Ottawa is winning. And look, Saskatchewan has a chance to really put a stranglehold on the West, and I really think they want to rest some of these starters. I could see them, though, maybe Ottawa getting to them off the jump, depending on how Drew Brown plays, because I think they live or die with Drew Brown the way they've built it. And back in the comments to Connor again, yeah, I do think Bob Dice, unfortunately, just hasn't been able to get going as a head coach, because I don't know if you guys would agree, but I feel that Ottawa this season, I would call this a failure. After last year, you know what? They had the best home record in the CFL. They were finding ways to win football games. And then this year, they had a terrible record at home. And you can blame the injuries all you want, but Dustin Crum actually has a better record than Drew Brown.
Oh, for sure he does. Yeah, I feel bad for Bob Dice. He's a super nice guy. I think I haven't met him, but he seems like a nice guy. But you went out and got Brown. You have the Crum back, who's just getting better and better in age. You went and spent money in free agency this winter, I should say. I think the only thing left is coaching at this point. And if, once you fire a coach, get a new coach, then you got to look at the manager, right? But I think at this point, you got to blame the coach.
Well, I think even Ottawa's given up on this season when they traded Lorenzo Malden for a draft pick. To me, that just said, look, we don't see this team going any further. And it's tough, right? Because Ottawa has some good pieces. They have a good running game between, I believe Stanback is a game-time decision. I don't think he's playing today. Between Stanback and Onamaboye. Onamaboye, when you look at the one Argonaut player that I wish didn't go anywhere, Onamaboye was the one that I was really hoping wasn't going to leave the organization. I'm a big fan of his. But I'm just, I'm waiting to see with Ottawa. I think they're going to have, once they're mathematically eliminated, I think they are going to have some tough choices to make. Now, do I think this game's going to be a blowout today? No, I think Ottawa will find a way to keep it close. Ottawa's been able to hang around in games. But I think this will be a game, if Ottawa wins, I'm thinking Drew Brown's got to probably throw close to 400 yards and at least three TDs. Like, I think if Ottawa wins this game, the offense has to win them this game. And the way Drew Brown wins games with the offense is chucking the ball downfield because he's got wicked arm strength.
He does, yeah.
Everyone is getting fired, according to Mr. Dan.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, you know what? You could see firing from the GM. I think Bob Dice is definitely on thinner ice than the Rideau Canal when there's a do not skate warning.
Oh, boy. That's pretty thin.
Look, I just think you have to move. I think Ottawa has got to make some changes. I mean, because you have some talented receivers. You have good running backs. Personally, I've been disappointed in Ottawa's defense this year. I thought the defense was going to be better.
Yeah.
But
like, I thought so too. Like going into free agency, I thought, oh, this is going to be the best team in the East. I really thought that, and boy, was I ever wrong.
And I've seen so many people blame the injuries. And Key, I do agree. Dan is looking very confident. A desk makes everyone more confident. But look, I'm looking to see kind of where Ottawa goes from here. I mean, Saskatchewan, I think they're just looking to finish the season strong and get away with as little amount of injuries as physically possible.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is why I think this game could end up being close, because I don't know, are you going to see AJ Ouellette get, 15, 20 carries? Probably not, right? It's interesting to see where Saskatchewan goes. They're the best team in the CFL at 10-4 currently.
Well, that's the thing. The best team in the CFL, and this year they had like a lot of players injured. Like, imagine how good it would be if they had a full roster. Would they be like a undefeated team?
Or can you imagine if they just showed up against Calgary?
Yeah, I mean, that's
out of their 4 losses, 2 of them were blowouts to the Calgary Stampeders. You don't have those blowouts against the Calgary Stampeders, and all of a sudden, this is a very, very, this could be a 12-2 team.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, the big news for Saskatchewan fans is Schaefer Baker's back in the lineup tonight.
Yes.
I mean, I think so. Finally, for the first time since all year, your receiving core looks pretty healthy.
They have, yeah.
So you are just waiting to see what can this receiving core do. And it's amazing Trevor Harris realistically has put up the numbers he has put up with a receiving core that's pretty banged up, right? Like, he hasn't had Schaefer Baker. He hasn't had Emelis.
And you figure because
Green Jr. Actually, it doesn't look like Emelis is playing today. But I was
going to say, think about it, because you had all these veterans injured, a lot of young guys had to come in and step up. And now those young guys have had much more experience playing with a veteran quarterback like Trevor Harris. So I really think this offseason, as much as it could be a very good playoff run for Saskatchewan this year, I think this offseason might be some difficult decisions to make. Because you got to look at it, Trevor Harris getting older, do they need to spend money bringing in a big-name quarterback? And if they do, are they going to let some wide receivers go because they're 10-4 without them and bring in some young guys and they have that much more experience?
Well, I mean, but you look here tonight, like Saskatchewan is a team that I don't think they're looking at next season yet whatsoever. I think they're a team that the time is now. And I do get what you're saying, Dan, with Trevor Harris. This very well could be his last year. And let's be honest, Jake Mayer is not the guy, as much as he's got to win for you this year, he's not the guy that you think is going to bring you a great cup in the future.
No, but, definitely not.
You're looking at guys like Tommy Neal, who has really stepped up, former Toronto Argo. He's getting much more comfortable. Schaefer Baker, Bain Jr. is a game time decision, and they're still waiting on Mara Alford to return from injury.
Tommy Neal.
You're also looking here at the defense, and this is where I still think this team wins and loses football games. The defense. I think this team is built around defense. Watch Malik Carney, not the Prime Minister of Canada. I'd be very interested if the Prime Minister was out there trying to sack a quarterback.
He is a goalie, though.
Out here, who is going to be doing their very best to make sure Drew Brown isn't comfortable in that pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting here, a bold statement in the comment section. I think this is a bold statement here, saying that they're winning the Grey Cup. I would not take BC over the Rough Riders at all.
No way.
Nathan Rourke still needs to prove he can do it in the playoffs before I'm putting BC in a top 3 contender.
No way Nathan Rourke's doing anything.
But see, then again, we have Mr. Gray from Rider Nation, who he's kind of in between Elks and Riders where he's situated. And no one is touching Sask all playoff long. And I mean, like, look, I think Saskatchewan, let's be honest, more than likely they're going to have home field right up until the Grey Cup. And playing at Mosaic, I think, could be the ticket they need to beat Winnipeg in the playoffs.
I think so, yeah.
If Winnipeg even, depending on how Winnipeg does. Winnipeg might be crossing over through the East.
That's a possibility, too.
Now, we know here, if Ottawa and Toronto both lose this week, we are guaranteed a crossover.
Yes.
So, look, it's interesting here, though, just in the comment section alone, right? We have Key, who feels the Riders don't have a chance to win the Grey Cup. We have Dan Gray, who really feels they're going all the way.
Yeah, it just shows you how this year is not cut and dry, right? Like, where people thinking both ways.
And Key, to answer your question here about Grey Cup predictions, with Dan Gray saying he thinks the Riders go all the way, you're feeling like they won't. It really depends, I think. The sleeping dog in the West, I actually think, is Calgary. Mm-hmm. What Calgary team do we see in the playoffs if they, which they should get in? They'd have to lose out. Toronto or Ottawa have to win out. But I think Calgary is my kind of sleeping dog where I don't know what team we're going to see.
For me, that sleeping dog is Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg, look at Winnipeg against Hamilton the other day, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I've been saying all season, I think Hamilton has a chance to win the cup in this century, this millennium, and because that's everyone's 99. I think they had a chance this year, and then they lost to Winnipeg, with only 3 points? So
to me, that game, actually, though, I think that game and the Labor Day game against Toronto, I think will actually help Hamilton be better in the playoffs.
I think
Argonauts when they went to the playoffs, they completely Amber Hearded the bet.
And right? I think that's the only point you can make about Saskatchewan. They haven't had a whole lot of controversy this year, besides the injuries and overstepping things. With Calgary and Winnipeg have faced adversity this year. With
Saskatchewan, they got blown out by Calgary twice.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
Right? So, to me, even Saskatchewan at the top dog, I don't think there's one team between the East and West that I think will definitely, I'm like, nope, they're going. Even Hamilton, I know, Dan, you are actually a Ticat fan through and through. We still get along, though. That's the beauty of friendship. But, look,
it's a beautiful thing at the decks there. Everyone can get along.
I think Hamilton is the team to beat out of the East, as much as I think Montreal could still do it, depending on if Davis Alexander's my wild card there. And Dan, I'm sorry, not trying to upset you here, but will he be Chad Kelly 2.0? Unbeatable in the season in 1 year, goes into the playoffs, plays absolutely terrible. We just don't know.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Back to the novels in the comment section. But you still can't say that's already been won before it's been reached. No, and that's very true, Key. I think it's just, I look in the West, and like the East, I really feel, as much as Hamilton's the team to beat, I could see Montreal beating them. If Saskatchewan plays up to their ability, they should make the Grey Cup no problem.
I think Hamilton is making it in the East. I really do.
Yeah, but Dan, I wouldn't be shocked if, let's say, Montreal beats them.
I'm not seeing it because, I know that they have a quarterback for those few games, but look at Winnipeg. They won without a quarterback, and Montreal just couldn't really.
MBT won a couple games too, Dan, and he's terrible.
Yeah, I know, but I mean even without MBT.
Well, Caleb Evans actually looked serviceable until he basically broke his leg.
Well, that's a good point too.
Yeah, Key, between the Elks and the Stampeders, that's like the Argos versus Ticats, but we all get along at the desk.
Yes, we do.
So, kickoff's very soon, so I do want to get into who we think is going to win this one. So, Dan, are you sticking with the Saskatchewan Roughriders winning this game, or do you think we might see an upset the way we were talking about earlier in the comments?
No upset. Roughriders have been a nail in the coffin for the Red Blacks, unfortunately, and I think they're going to get it done tonight. I'm saying Roughriders.
Okay, so are you thinking it's going to be a blowout, or do you think that I think Saskatchewan will win, but I think it's going to be a nail biter. I think
I would have agreed with you if it didn't make the trade last week. I think that trade sends a message to the players and the coaches like, yeah, we don't believe in you anymore. You're done. We're just waiting off this year, getting ready for next year.
Mind you, Malden was not having a good year this year in Ottawa.
He's still one of our defensive leaders, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this is Drew Brown's last chance to prove he should be the starter.
People think I'm crazy. I'm not saying Drew Brown is bad. I like Drew Brown, but I've been a Clumback fan for a very long time since he entered the league a couple of years ago. I think I think you could move on with Brown and give Clumback the starting position. So I think this game's kind of a big game because if Ottawa doesn't keep Brown, he wants to have a good game to show other teams that he's still a good, serviceable quarterback. We've seen some controversy of other teams with quarterbacks and injuries and people getting older and different things. So I think, this could be an interesting winter quarterback. So I think he wants to prove that he can still be a starter somewhere else.
Dan Gray is saying he thinks it's going to be Riders 35, Red Blacks 21. With 60 points combined. You're seeing both offenses taking control.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see, I'm going to say Ottawa 27, Saskatchewan 29. I really think there's going to be a really close game. Mm-hmm. Like I don't see Ottawa, and I get what you're saying about the trade, Dan, but I don't see I don't see this Red Black. I don't think, as much as I don't think Bob Dice is the right head coach, I don't think this team has given up on Bob Dice. And if they haven't given up on Mr. Dice, they're going to have to roll the dice and take some chances to try to stay in this game. And that's why I'm saying I think Ottawa's going to keep it close.
Like, I'm going to say Rough Riders 30 points and Ottawa 10 points.
10?
Yeah. Touchdown field goal.
Key is saying here a 29-28 Ottawa win, a 1 pointer. Wow.
Interesting.
1 point. That is going to be so Key and I are thinking close, except Key thinks Ottawa is going to get the job done. I think at the end of the day, Saskatchewan is going to basically clinch their playoff berth.
Right.
Right, because, not clinch their playoff berth, but clinch home field all the way to the Grey Cup. Then the Grey Cup will be in Winnipeg. Mind you, I will say if Winnipeg can't be in, if it doesn't make it to the Grey Cup this year, I think the CFL wants Saskatchewan to get there because I could see Winnipeg fans going just to boo Saskatchewan the same way if it was in Hamilton. I think Hamilton fans would go just to boo Toronto. And Toronto fans would probably go just to boo Hamilton.
Well, sir, it'll be interesting experience if that was the case.
But this is a big game for Saskatchewan. They're currently 4 points up with only 4 games left. Right. So realistically, if they win this one, they can probably start resting some of their top players.
Exactly. Yep.
And you know what, Dan? You put up with me dabbing and throwing papers at you on the air for almost 2 years. So you can give me some crap. That's okay.
Yep. Yeah, Gray and Jacob have been friends a long time.
Hey, we're all friends here at the Analyst Desk. Don't worry. That's why we keep it at the desk.
Yep, exactly.
Nice and sturdy. Well, mine's from IKEA, so it's a little wobbly sometimes.
Good old, what do they call those things? Wassers and Allen keys. Good old Allen keys, bro. And some Swedish meatballs. Got to eat some meatballs on the decks here one day.
Now, before, you know what? We're gonna save our predictions for Saturday for our post-game show. Because that's right. We're gonna do a post-game show tonight. We're going to save the Saturday
at the game on Saturday. We won't be making videos, but we won't be making a show, but pay attention to our social media pages for videos updates.
But quickly, Dan, before we go, Kevin Gausman starting game 1. Happy or sad for the Blue Jays?
Very happy. I just hope that someone in the city of Toronto gives him a free parking spot. Someone should wait to Olivia Chow and say, hey, we need a win. We need him to play well. Eat up the $40 and let him play well.
You know what? I'm gonna leave you with a teaser that we can talk about for the post-game show when we talk about Saturday. I would not have started Kevin Gausman game 1.
What?
And on that note, we're gonna say goodbye. Dan Gray saying Gausman first, Yuskevich, the kid that actually Mr.
Whoa, the kid
second.
Ooh.
But we'll talk about that much more on the post-game show to figure out what We're going to talk about with the Jays. We're going to preview some Toronto Argonauts football. Because I just got a text from good friend of the program, Mr. Adam, saying, I can't believe you're not talking Argos right now. We will be talking Argos tonight. So
we will be.
Worry.
We will be. I guess we should have came on a little bit earlier today.
I am not fired.
Whoa! For what?
You're fired.
For
it
what?
Was the wrong call. The biggest mistake. Okay. Anyways, thank you very much for
Why would I get fired?
No, he's saying that I should be fired since I wouldn't start Kevin Gosman game 1 and we didn't talk any Argos.
Oh, yes. Okay. Game. Well, Mr. Gway, I would consider it, but I don't know how to operate a computer. So that's why Jacob's here.
Hey, horrible Jays take. Hey, okay. And you got to tune into the post game to hear why I would not be starting Gosman first game. You'll hear why when we come back tonight. And plus, the show we do tonight will also be uploaded on Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that fun jazz.
As we're well, this one.
No, this is irrelevant already.
Oh, but okay.
Tonight's show will upload very, very soon. And don't worry, Key. Dan will never be fired. You don't need to. If you boycotted desks, how would you ever be able to do anything in your life? Because a desk is like a table.
That's right.
You need stability.
It's easier to boycott Loblaws than the decks.
Thank you very much for watching the Analyst Desk with myself and Mr. Moore for your money. We will be back with a post-game show, plus previewing the rest of your weekend. Until then, stay locked in at the Analyst Desk.
Bye-bye.